Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're completely flipping the script on how we usually talk about personal finance. We're diving into the wealth protection method. And the core idea? It's simple, but honestly, it's pretty profound. Making money is only half the game. The other half, actually keeping it.
Think about your own financial journey for a second. We spend so much time and energy just trying to get ahead, right? But what if becoming wealthy isn't actually the hardest part? What if the absolute hardest part is holding on to it? I mean, you could spend literally decades meticulously building your savings, investing, doing everything right. And then, it's terrifying, really, but it just takes one bad decision, a single, totally unexpected financial emergency, or a massive debt problem to completely wipe out years or even decades of all that hard work.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the risks out there are incredibly real, and they're happening to everyday people. Get this, according to 2025 Federal Reserve data, 20%, that is literally 2 in 10 U.S. adults, reported experiencing financial fraud or scams involving their money. 1/5 of the population. That's just a staggering statistic. It really shows just how vulnerable our wealth actually is if we aren't paying close attention.
Which brings me to a question I really want you to ask yourself as we go through this explainer today. Are you protecting your money as seriously as you're trying to grow it? Think about it. Be honest with yourself. I mean, most of us are entirely focused on playing offense, right? Getting the promotion, picking that winning stock, grinding on the side hustle. But man, we have some massive blind spots when it comes to playing defense.
Section 1. The dangerous gap. Making versus keeping.
There's this vast space between the skill of acquiring wealth and a completely separate skill of protecting it. See, society actively teaches us how to make money. We go to school for it, we devour books on finding the next big investment that's going to the moon, but far fewer of us ever consciously learn how to protect that money once we actually have it. Building wealth isn't just about picking winners. It is equally about actively controlling the risks that can absolutely destroy your financial progress.
Section 2. Core pillars of protection. Defending your financial future.
To really defend your future, we need a system built on 4 non-negotiable defensive habits. We start with Pillar 1, the emergency fund. Look, here's the reality. Unexpected expenses are inevitable. You're going to have a car repair, a major medical bill, or maybe a sudden job loss. It's not an if, it's a when. Your transmission is literally going to fail the exact day before your roof leaks, right? That's just life. Without dedicated cash reserves, what happens? Well, you might be forced to sell your investments at the absolute worst possible moment in the market, or you'll have to take on incredibly expensive debt just to survive. Cash is absolutely your first line of defense.
Let's move to Pillar 2, high-interest debt. We all know how amazing compound interest is when you're investing, right? It's magic? Well, high-interest consumer debt is that exact same math, but completely weaponized against you. It compounds in the total opposite direction of your wealth-building efforts. Carrying bad debt actively fights and neutralizes the financial progress you're working so hard to achieve. You just have to eliminate it to protect your baseline.
Next up, Pillar 3 is diversification. Putting everything you have into one company, one single property, or one highly speculative asset creates what we call concentration risk. Basically, all your eggs in one very fragile basket. Now, to be entirely clear based on our sources, diversification doesn't magically eliminate all losses. Markets still fluctuate, but what it does do is fundamentally reduce your dependence on the performance of a single investment. It stops you from risking your entire future on just one thing going exactly right.
And finally, Pillar 4, insurance. This provides essential protection against catastrophic, life-altering events. Now, there is a massive misconception about insurance out there. A lot of people see paying those premiums as losing money if they never end up filing a claim, but that entirely misunderstands its actual function in your overall wealth protection strategy.
There's a powerful paradigm shift you really need to make right now, and it's this. The purpose of insurance isn't to make you rich, it's to prevent one catastrophic event from making you poor. That is exactly it. Hit the nail on the head. It's the ultimate defensive backstop to ensure that a single medical emergency or property disaster doesn't just reset your wealth all the way back to zero.
Section 3. The rise of financial fraud, the ultimate modern risk.
Now that we've covered the traditional pillars, we have to talk about the most underestimated, high-tech threat we face today. Modern investment scams are becoming terrifyingly sophisticated. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this massive number, 19.6 million euros. According to 2025 data from the Austrian Financial Market Authority, that huge amount of money just evaporated across only 843 reported cases in Austria alone. We aren't talking about spare change here. These are life-altering sums of money being drained from regular individuals simply because the scams are just that convincing.
Let's break down exactly how regulators are seeing this happen right now. First off, fake platforms. These are bogus investment sites perfectly designed to look 100% legitimate, complete with fake dashboards showing your money going up. Then we have deepfakes. Scammers are now using AI-generated audio and video to perfectly mimic real people, maybe even a famous CEO or a loved one. We also have social schemes, which are scams originating directly in your social media feeds. And finally, fraudulent experts, where scammers build entire online personas posing as trusted authorities. Guys, this isn't the old days of poorly spelled emails. These are highly engineered psychological traps purposefully designed to steal your life savings.
Because these modern threats are so incredibly advanced, you need absolute, immovable rules to protect yourself. Rule number 1, never invest simply because someone promises guaranteed returns. In finance, there are no guarantees, period. Rule 2, never send money because someone creates artificial urgency. If they're telling you that you have to act right now, just walk away. And rule 3, never confuse confidence with credibility. Just because someone sounds like they know what they're talking about on a slick video doesn't mean they actually do. Stick to these 3 nevers and your defenses will be incredibly strong.
Section 4. The new wealth equation. A complete paradigm shift.
Everything we've talked about requires us to completely rethink how we operate financially. See, the old way was perfectly linear. You earn, you invest, you grow. But honestly, that leaves your wealth completely exposed to the elements. So the crucial point is the new way, which integrates defense at every single step. Earn, protect, invest, grow, protect, and repeat. Notice how protection isn't just some afterthought you tack on at the end once you're already rich. No way. It has to be actively inserted at every single stage of your financial journey.
Which brings us to this. The first rule of wealth isn't making more money. It's making sure you don't unnecessarily lose what you've already built. So take a hard look at your own financial defenses right now. Are your 4 pillars actually strong? Are you navigating modern fraud with your eyes wide open? Making money is thrilling. Absolutely. It's a rush. But protecting it, that's what actually secures your freedom. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. If a highly sophisticated scammer targeted your biggest financial vulnerability tomorrow, would your wealth survive the day?